This right here is a 1/18 scale Volvo 164 by Triple9. So far I had only reviewed their display cases, but this is the first ever Triple9 model car that I'm reviewing on my channel. Now I found this model for €52, and considering how the average KK scale retails for 70, I knew I had to get this. And Triple9, which is very similar in quality to KK scale, has made this in a couple of different colors. In burgundy red, gray blue, in off-white, which looks really cool, but has a black interior, and also in gold with a beige interior. But I thought it looked really cool in this bottle green, and green is actually a color that I tend to avoid because I never really liked green cars. I think out of the 500 cars in my collection, I have less than 5 that are green. But I went for this because I had finally found one that I liked, so here it is. The 164 was a luxury sedan Volvo made for the 1969 model year, with production lasting until 1975, and it was the predecessor to the Volvo 264, which I've already reviewed on this channel, albeit in a smaller 1/43 scale. So taking a look at the 1/18 scale Volvo 164 by Triple9, you can see that they put a lot of attention to detail on this model car. I think that the front looks absolutely perfect and just like the real car's front end. The headlights are done very nicely. Not only do they not have any pegs in the middle, but there's also like a little bulb indicated in the center. The headlamp covers have textured glass, and we have the chrome surrounds, which used to be an option on the real car. Fog lamps are also done very nicely, and the indicators are two-tone and separate pieces, and even the indicators don't have any pegs in them, which is something quite rare actually. And underneath the grille we have the Volvo 164 license plate. This car was designed by Jan Vilskard, the lead designer of Volvo from 1950 to 1990. The front of the car is loosely based on the front fascia of the Wolseley 699, although Volvo fans will probably tell you it was rather inspired by another in-house model, namely the Volvo P1900 from the 1950s. Either way, I just love this massive Rolls-Royce style grille that gives the car an expensive, classy look, and one of the reasons why I added it to my collection. Up here you can see that we have another separate Volvo logo, slightly raised on the bonnet, and this one also is done very nicely. Now of course the hood doesn't open on this sealed model, but inside would be Volvo's 3-liter inline-6 engine known as the B30, with approximately 145 horsepower, a top speed of 194 kph, and 0 to 100 acceleration in 9 seconds, which is actually a bit faster than the DMC DeLorean that came out 10 years later, and was in fact a 2-door sports car, but with a terrible performance. As we move on further up, you can see that we have chrome windshield wipers, and these are separate pieces. And then we have here the wiper fluid grill with a little single windshield washer nozzle. And the mirrors are also in chrome and look pretty good. And over here we have the antenna. So yeah, let's check out the side. So here's a look at the side of the 1969 Volvo 164. And you can see it's actually a pretty nice sedan. You can just see how long the hood is compared to the rest of the car. It was actually an extended hood compared to the Volvo 144. You can see that the car has separate chrome door handles, which is also nice. And on top of that, Triple9 has also modeled the door locks inside. And of course, we've got the chrome trim line and also a chrome trim for the fenders. we have a Volvo 164 badging here behind the front fender. And now if we take a look at the wheels. And I gotta tell you, man, I just love these wheels. You can see that the hubcaps are chrome, but the rims are brushed aluminum. They've even got that air nozzle modeled on them. And what's more, this model comes with mud guards, or mud flaps, which is also quite rare among model cars. And you've got Volvo written on them as well. And taking a look at the back of the 1/18 scale Volvo 164 by Triple9, you can see that the back is also done quite detailed in relation to the real car. We've got the Volvo 164 badging, and the rear license plate also saying Volvo 164. The trunk lock mounted on top of the light paneling for the rear license plate. And down to the bottom left, we have a single exhaust that sticks out a little. These taillights were used from 1969 to 1972. In 1973, the car got a facelift where they became a bit wider, and then once more in the final model year 1975, where they became even wider and had 6 panels each. And over here you can see the chrome fuel cap, situated at the end of the chrome trim line, which on this model, just like the trim around the windows, is unfortunately just matte silver paint. If we move on further up, you can see that we've got this indent on the trunk, which I think was also on the real car. And the rear windshield has these defroster lines built into it, which is also nice. And now taking a look at the interior of the Volvo 164, you can see that the interior has a lot of details for a sealed model car. Down there, we've got a 4-speed manual transmission attached to Volvo's M400 gearbox. But now taking a look at the dash, you can see that we have some details there, like buttons and stereo, cassette players, stuff like that. And I just love the beige interior because it just gives it that aura of luxury. The seats are done very nicely. They've got the headrests, which I think were an option. You can even see that we have the seat belts right there. The door cards also have some nice level of detail, especially for the window crank and the door handle. And I think those were ashtrays right there, built into the door. Here's a look at the rear seats. Got a center armrest, I think, indicated at. And then we have another rear center console. If I can get it to focus. Yeah. Transmission tunnel there in the middle. So yeah, pretty nice. And we've got a full headliner. So oftentimes these sealed models have like cut corners here, but not on this one. Got the grab handles up there. And the sun visors. And the rear view mirror. Very nice. And despite being a sealed model, the car features turnable front wheels and a responsive steering wheel. So full front steering, which is nice. And taking a look at the driver's side of the Volvo 164, you can see that the steering wheel has a lot of detail etched into it. And of course we have the silver ring, the inner ring that is, which is the horn. And behind it you can see a little bit of the gauge cluster, although it's hard to focus. Easier to see the details from the other side, really. Turn signal stalks are there. And we even have the belt buckles in red. So yeah, very awesome interior. And taking a look at the bottom of the car, again you can see quite a bit of detail here despite this being a sealed model. Up here it says T9 Volvo 164 made in China. We've got some transmission detail here. exhaust painted in silver, mufflers, the fuel tank. So it's all there, which is pretty good. So I hope you guys liked my review of the 1/18 scale Volvo 164 by Triple9. I think it's a great model car, and even though nothing opens, it is a great display piece, and it's certainly a whole lot cheaper than the other one offered by DNA Collectibles. So if you're interested in more reviews like this, be sure to check out some of them here. And as always, guys, take care, have a wonderful day. This is Imperial Diecast, signing out.